Little Kitty Big City. This title took me completely off guard. I personally wasn't even aware of this game coming out until I noticed it in the newly released titles in the day it actually came out. And the game is about Cat, who fell out of his sleeping spot on the ledge and right now has to come back home. And as someone who loves cats, I decided, why not? Let's give it a try. So I've spent the entire night playing Little Kitty Big City. Previously we had Stray, also game about cat, but it didn't really fulfill the niche for me personally. Don't get me wrong, Stray is a great game and I had a really fun time playing it, and I was really interested in how the journey will go, but it wasn't just play as a cat game. It was more of a narrative driven game where a lot of the time you spent talking to droids and helping them with their problems. Here in Little Kitty Big City, you have a game where you play as a cat, you have not big but enough of open world, and you get to actually be a cat. Jumping on ledges, destroying plant pots, catching birds, obviously without hurting them, causing problems, tripping people, and stealing their food or phone. You actually get to be a cat. So there is a story in the game too, but it doesn't really take the whole game hostage as it was in Stray. We also have a different pets in the city, and as we are new and try to get back up, we get some help from them and we also help others with their problems. Also, there is a crow who is going to be helpful but not without using us to get what he wants in exchange. The game has a really simple concept and it just works. Talking to other pets, we also find out that they claim to be knowledgeable, but they themselves don't really understand things that they are talking about. Dialogue is fun and humorous and doesn't really take long. It's like really approachable game no matter the age. We will meet other cats, tanuki, goose, chameleon, neighbor dog, crow, and few others. Dialogue is very lighthearted and often made me smile. And this game treats the quests as something of a secondary thing. So you don't really have to participate in them or even talk to most of the animals, but when you get to play, you don't really think about going up as fast as you are allowed to. Personally, I ignored completely the fact that I was able to finish the game. I just wanted to run around, talk to everyone, complete every quest, and besides the quest, I wanted to complete the in-game achievements and collect as many hats as possible. The graphics are nice and pleasant to look at, so everything has this feel like you're watching and is in this instance playing a cartoon. Gameplay is very simple, you don't really have to learn anything. You have walking controls, you can jump, you also have a precision jump where you can aim to which place you're going to land. You can crawl, which is useful when catching birds and crawling through the holes in the walls, and obviously you can also pick up the objects, but some objects in the game you can simply pick up and the other objects you are not allowed to pick up, and if the game requires you to deliver the object from point A to point B, you will have to do it manually, hitting it with a paw until you actually get the object to the point of its destination. One example of this type of quest is when neighborhood dog is asking you to help him find his tennis balls that he lost, and this makes some quests more challenging than the other ones where you can actually take and pick up the objects and deliver it to its recipient. There are obstacles placed in the city also. You have water which you can't pass through because it will scare you as soon as you touch it, and the same with dogs. But once you are going to walk around, you can unlock the safe passage in the places where the dogs are. And also one more thing, if it comes to the size of the open world, your main goal to come back home is to eat fish that you can find around the city. As you eat more fish that you can find, you are able to access higher levels of the city. There you can actually find something also interesting, more animals and places to explore. In-game music is very pleasant to listen to, and I was actually running and collecting shinies and hats, etc. and I didn't even think about turning on something in the background to listen to. Unfortunately, the game also has some minor problems. There have been reports of people getting soft lock after speaking to Tanuki. There is an in-game quest at the beginning of the game where Tanuki is going to help you, but she needs 3 feathers to do so, and you are tasked with collecting the feathers and returned to her. So few people had this problem. When they left, Tanuki just disappeared, and when they came back with the feathers, they couldn't do anything and they had to start from the beginning. I personally did have another error which doesn't really soft lock you from progressing the game. There are machines in the city where you can buy hats for shinies that you can collect. Machine next to the fisherman broke for me and I could not buy hats after stepping away from it for the first time. Crow sat on the different machines but never came back to this one next to this fisherman, and I had to reset the game and the crow finally appeared on the said machine, but it kept telling me that there is no new hats to buy in this machine and to try other ones. And only after buying hats from the different machine and coming back to the fisherman, the game finally unblocked itself. But the reset of the game was also necessary for the crow to even appear on this machine. And playing on the Xbox, frame rate dropped when entering the wet concrete. I don't know what happened, like few first times I was walking around the concrete, it was completely normal, but after a few times, all of a sudden the game started losing frames as soon as I would touch the concrete. The only thing that I noticed, it started more or less at the time when Beetle arrived at the construction site, so it may be attached to appearing of this one character in the game. These are the only issues that I can mention. Other than that, everything went smoothly. I was surprised how fun and pleasant the game is. Had more fun playing it than most of big AAA titles released in the last few years, and this game definitely deserves your attention. Personally, I will be going back to it to 100% it, and I recommend you this game heavily, even more if you are a cat lover.